I'm going to challenge you. Go out there and write a song to what the earthquake devastation. Everybody's on an equal playing field. Mario, hit that new sports thing, man.
We got a sports because it's the end of the world and we got to go play some ball. It's the end of the world, So since it's the end of the world, let's go talk about March Madness.
There we go. That worked. That's working.
Gird your loins.
And I really mean this too, you guys, so you guys understand. When I say out of disaster comes creativity, I think the level playing field right now for people to create a song that galvanizes the planet, the music public, or whatever. You're on an equal playing field right now. Best song wins, not necessarily the artist, but the song that kind of is the gravity. Right now, you guys need to sit up there and pump your chops, step up, produce something, because this is going to be a long situation. It's going to happen. It's going to happen again, so think ahead. In the meantime, dude, I said March Madness, didn't I?
You did, man, and I'm feeling a little mad.
You're right. What?
Is it March already?
Yes.
Mad, damn it.
That's right.
Well, let me break something.
Sound effect. Here goes the sound effect. Y'all hear this? Okay. Let me just go on and do this. See, I'm gonna keep it there on March Madness. First of all, the idea that he keeps using sound effects with gunfire.
I'm mad. It's March. How about this one? Here's my favorite.
Yeah, man. Woo, this world needs an enema. Oh, man. Okay, you guys. And I'm going to start off with this because I think all of you guys who follow New Sports, where we actually say sports is wrapped around sex or sex is wrapped around sports if sports is involved. Well, today it's only a couple of fellas in the house, so we're going to keep it more on the philosophical approach of who we think is going to win because, you know, the regular broadcast community is tearing apart the 64, 65 teams who are in the game. So
it looks like there's some politics, though, Vic.
It's big time,
and the process is not quite clear.
Isn't that like NASCAR and its point system?
Yeah, you're like, what's the process here?
Yeah,
how we decide, but it's a secret. It's a secret process.
Hey, look, when there's conference money involved, there's a reason why some of the Big Ten members, like Colorado and Utah, will be moving over to the Pac-10, which will become the Pac-12. And the reason why that bigger pool of money to share on it. And, you know, of course, more pool of money to contribute to it. So let's just do this real quick.
12 is better than 10.
It sure is.
But it seems like too much for the average person any damn way.
To figure out. And you won't know the formula anyway. You're not going to know the formula. And even if you do know the formula, it's still better than the BCS. I'm sorry. It's still better. All right, here we go. March Madness. The first thing I'm thinking about right now is you got your top seeds, Mario, already. And the top seeds are Ohio State, Kansas, Duke, and Pittsburgh. Now, the locks were Ohio State and Kansas. Got it. No problem. There was some flexibility on Duke and Pittsburgh because, you know, it was really a process of elimination. Who would not, I guess you can say, lose or have a losing streak going in to the selection process. So instead of getting involved in all that, here's my question. Which number one seed will lose first in the NCAA March Madness basketball tournament out of the four that you see listed here? And I'm going to say it again. We got Ohio State, Kansas, Duke, and Pittsburgh. Now, without you knowing in as much as the recent competition, let's just pretend you don't know.
Because that's the part I don't, right.
I know. You don't know. So
Duke is always in there.
It's always in. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying this. Unless you can go and look at their recent competition, who they win against, their RPI and all that, philosophically, I'm going to just go like this. You got 4 teams here. All you got to do is pick one you think. And I'm going to monitor this over the next week to see. I have picked 8 teams to say, here's the seeded teams, number one, and what we call the Cinderellas that nobody ever picks. Which team here loses first? You have to use the
Kansas.
Think Kansas going to lose first, man?
But Vic.
What?
I actually heard some announcers arguing that certain teams should just be admitted because of their legacy or reputation.
Yes.
And I'm like, what kind of shit? Ain't it a competency? They actually said that, and I actually paused it. Y'all even agreed on that.
Right.
Another guy, I understand. No, I don't understand. How you going to let anybody in any kind of competition based on their legacy?
And I agree.
What the hell is that? It should be about what you won.
Right. And I think, and Mario, I agree. There are some parameters out there we know that will add more. For example, I'll say this. What is better in the final? Let's say it's 2 teams and they're both ranked in, let's say, at least 10th seed or worse, meaning 10 to 16. and you have
Why they call it a seed anyway?
Well, your seed, you're right. You know what? You know what? You
all right, because I
there.
get confused.
I know what
he's doing.
He's trying to. Like I said, there's no women in the show today. Leave it alone. Okay, check it out. 10 to 16. All your number one seeds are out. You're in your final four, and all the teams that are ranked at least seeded 10th or worse are in the final championship game. Does that make for a better championship game, or do you need a number one seed so you can have a giant killer in the
No,
mix?
I actually like to send what really gets me, because I don't follow college basketball that actively until March Madness.
Right.
And because what you actually see here is usually it's the conference winners.
Right.
So you get a bunch of people from nowhere.
Right.
And I watch it specifically because I love to see the upsets.
Right.
I love the whole Cinderella aspect. That is the most attractive thing to me. And because they play so hard.
Right.
And unlike a lot of other sports, you really get a feel for their youth and for the honesty kind of the competition.
Right.
Everybody comes at it so hard to win. And they come from no-name schools and big schools. So I go looking for the upset. So
I know what you're saying. You're looking for it. And then
I love the upsets.
And all I'm saying is that right now, if I had to look at the teams that I think are up for a possible loss, Pittsburgh would be the team because they have 5 losses. But you always go with how the team struggled and matchups. See, here's the part that I have a whole issue against. If the media presides over basically funneling in where their money gets best served, meaning go to the bigger teams, those bigger teams where it means revenue sharing and everything, it could skew your choices and say, well, you know what, these other teams don't have a chance. But I look at those teams that come up and say, you know what, you haven't played us before. You haven't been in our conference before. You haven't played a team like us before, which they've already said it's true that your big seeded teams at the beginning of the year avoid coming and traveling across in other conferences. That by design enhances the visibility of that conference, which if they do conference championships, more money, revenue is gained because those games are going to be played, showed, and everything else. So there's a lot of money behind it. But if I had to pick a team, I actually am picking Kansas to be one of those teams to suffer first as a number one seed getting knocked out first. I would have gone to Pittsburgh, but I'm going to say Kansas.
Now, it's funny. I chose Kansas.
I know that.
And I only chose them because,
right.
I was thinking of the Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
And that's part she goes, well, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Here we go. See, look at see. I'm not going through that. You know what? That's not going to work with this process of elimination. Okay, I'm going to go to something else. Let me look at it this way.
I like Morehead State because it's a wonderful name for a school.
I haven't even gotten
Morehead.
To that point. I haven't
Less
even gotten
head would have been a terrible name.
You need to reserve for
Morehead
women to come
State.
in. You need to wait for the women to come on the show before you start making.
I'm gonna go order a T-shirt from Morehead.
You don't need to
online. I want to wear that on the air. Morehead State.
Okay, you guys, let me go to the next situation here. The next situation or the next subject is which Cinderella team would you want to see go to the Sweet 16? Now, believe me, when I say Cinderella, I'm saying Cinderella teams that are predictably always knocked out usually in the first round.
Hampton could even beat Howard. I went to Howard, Hampton, historically black institution, right there on the water in Virginia Beach. The most bourgeois black folks you ever see.
Are you talking about Hampton, man?
I'm just telling you, but it's beautiful campus. You walk out the back door, you're on the water. Beautiful, but they couldn't beat. It's the Howard University. We used to whip their butts and everything.
Right.
So if they got a team that makes it anywhere,
right,
I'm rooting for Hampton.
Oh, I got you.
Well, I got to root for the brothers.
Why?
Can't root for Obama no more.
Why?
Pissed off.
Wait a minute.
I'm rooting for Hampton now.
Let me give everybody the choices here because he went ahead of the game and hit Morehead
to change.
And he already hit Hampton. The choices I have for Cinderella's going to the Sweet 16 are Princeton, Hampton, Morehead State, and Old Dominion. Pick one of those teams that had the best chance. You're picking Old Dominion.
Because you know what? They historically come out of nowhere. So, every now and then with these good teams. Right. They just do.
Okay.
They really do. And they have a history. Now, the other ones, I don't know so much. Princeton, I don't think so. And Hampton, I know not. Now, maybe Morehead, because it's a wonderful, once again, name for institution. certainly sounds better than Old Dominion, doesn't it?
Okay. Well, you know what? You made
Old Dominion.
You made to me, Mario made a good choice. If I had to pick, that's cool. If I had to pick a team that I thought was had a great chance of doing an upset early, I'm going to go with Old Dominion as well. So we both are on the same page on this one. So what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, we're going to monitor the 4 teams' progress from the number 1 seeds, and the pick that I have here, these are worst case scenarios because I could have picked a different group. But the safe group upsets are the traditional 5 to 12s, and then you're closely associated in ranking, where if you go to, say it's 4 to 13 or whatever the case may be. This group, we're going to see Princeton, Hampton, Morehead State, Old Dominion. Who lasts the longest? How far do they get? Do they get out of the first round, go to 32? Or is there a chance Sweet 16 is in the mix for them? All right, now we're going to go to another question. And
Morehead.
You know what? Stop it. You can't go there. The next question is this one. You're being recruited by 2 teams equally, all equal across the board, meaning that there's no advantage and everything is equal. The choices are, and you look at it this way, Duke, Blue Devils, or Kansas Jayhawks. And the reason why I say that, one is rich and steep in tradition because it's the center of the basketball world as it relates to where basketball started.
Blue Devil.
Blue Devils, of course, they come out of a place where their recent history as a championship caliber team over and over, why ignore Mario, why ignore him while he's doing the screams, is that they really blossom out of the late 80s. I mean, they've been in the championship before. There was a year they battled UCLA back in the 70s, and they lost. But their steep tradition came with Mike Krzyzewski. So the bottom line is, Mario, 2 teams here. One, history of basketballs in Kansas. And recent, in the last 25, 30 years, you got Duke. Which team would you go to get the ultimate benefits, which is what? Education or going on to a professional basketball?
Connections. Because what's a Jayhawk? What's a J? Stop that.
See, that's what's
a Jayhawk?
That's why New Sports.
I have an idea what a Blue Devil is, and it's the connection. So I think I'm going to Duke.
Why?
It's a better name, Duke.
You sound like a woman who goes like,
Duke
I'm picking the team with the prettiest jersey.
Duke of Earl, Duke.
So you're saying
Duke of Earl.
Duke is your better team. You're saying Duke is
Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K. Coach K.
Coach, you just hit it. He hit the thing that.
But also, it's a wonderful name. It's a Duke. You just like the way it sounds. You're a Blue Devil,
right?
You Blue Devil, you.
But you know what? I'm going to say the tradition here. What's the priority, Mario? Having
laid.
A stellar NBA professional basketball career or going to an institution of college recruitment that is esteemed in its success at a college level. When you look at professional basketball player, which team you think has a better place to launch you into a stellar NBA career?
I think you go with the coach that helps get your fundamentals. That is still a development.
Really?
Coach K still.
Coach K?
Yeah. Okay. You got to go with the super coach.
I'm going to say
above everything.
I'm going to say this is going to, and I agree with the coach thing. I think the whole principle, philosophy, and process is great at Duke. But when I actually look at the players coming out of Duke, they tend to work in a system. And I don't know if I can, right now, if I had to pick a Duke player, and it says, what we call like the Michael Jordan of North Carolina or the Rasheed Wallace of North Carolina. When you go Duke, I'm going, you don't have a name that's branded with them who's having a stellar basketball career. I will go with Kansas, believe it or not, for different reasons. It seems that the Kansas players tend to elevate a little bit more in the professional career. But under the system, Duke wins too. So, we can
there's, a bunch of Kansas has turned out some great players in both